Alrighty. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is Friday, so some people are already having their adult beverages. Well, it seems like that interest rate thing we talked about yesterday has come up and bit the market. It has basically said, oh no, we're raising rates again? Like I said yesterday, I thought it was close to insanity that they actually thought that in July of 2023, in other words, in a matter of weeks, they were going to start cutting rates. You know, money managers were getting on the television, you know, the talking heads of the financial channels, and they were saying stuff like that. You know, like 1/3 of them thought it was going to happen. It does surprise me. You know, you can see right here, we're just going to drift from the dollar index for a moment. You can see last night it seemed to come to an awaken. Right there, it goes into the daily sell or the intraday sell, and it's been in a sell since like 11 o'clock. No, it was even earlier than that. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock last night. It went into the sell, and it's been in there ever since. The S&Ps have gone from the almost the 430 area, 429 and change, I believe it was. The high was 427. 4,427, and now we are trading at 4,396. So we've dropped about 30 points in the S&P. And let's get that chat line up there. Let me check my tablet too to make sure nobody's trying to communicate through the tablet. I have my different forms of communication separating things all the time. And so yeah, that's just that. I hear something. Oh, what is that? Let's cancel that. I see Robin. Hey, Robin. Saw the email. That's good. Thank you for sending it over. George, good morning to you. Or good afternoon or good evening. And that has been really the gist of it all. You can see on the dollar index, it just rocketing up on that daily right there. And I saw I was watching. We have a client paying attention to the euro at the moment. Most of our clients are into everything but the currencies. We go in stages. Sometimes people actually pay attention to the currencies too with us, but of late it's been the opposite. So, I was looking at the euro last night when I was in front of the screens before I went to bed, and I thought, interesting. You know, euro's getting smashed, and we were in a daily buy, and I thought, well, that's odd, you know. Whereas the pound has been showing that weakness, but for the euro, I guess it was. And I have to interrupt myself. I've got a great chart this morning of the DAX and the Chinese yuan. It was a very interesting article about it. They said that basically, if you want to invest in the China market, buy the DAX. I thought that was an interesting point of view. But anyhow, that's where it's at there. That's kind of curious in its own right. Yeah. So we'll go through that when we go on to, if Janos jumps in and wants to talk about the DAX, we'll take a look at that. And if not, when we're towards the end of the currencies, we'll take a look at it either way. I thought it was a fascinating point of view. But as you can see here, what we have on the live Chicago Quant at the moment, as you can see, the intraday S&P 500 still in that sell since last night. Same situation here. They dropped it down. I guess it was like maybe, you know, there are times where I listen to these money managers, and since I worked in the hedge fund industry, I have an idea of, you know, how they think and work and function. And then I have a point of view from the execution side of the trading floors. And so sometimes I really am amazed of the level of stupidity that will come out of a money manager's mouth live, you know, where everybody can see. And it's almost like the old children's story about the emperor with no clothes on, and, you know, telling everybody how beautiful they are. They're so beautiful. If you can't see them, then you're not as anywhere near the caliber of the king or the emperor. And so he walks around naked, and everybody's like, wow, they're so beautiful. And when in fact he's naked. And it seems to be the same way. And we hear, I belong to some hedge fund connections and so forth, and I hear how they're just underperforming markets. And then you hear these money managers say things that sound like it's from the 1960s or early 70s. They really have it's a very strange perspective for people who are managing money that's supposed to be protected. It always surprises me. But anyway, that's what that is. So you see there, it's breaking down, which makes sense to me. I didn't understand why they were rallying to begin with. But that's, again, when Apple Computer is equal to the size of all the stocks on the London Stock Exchange, then obviously when I say there's no other game in town, there obviously is no other game in town. In other words, when you have so much cash in the system sloshing around, they need to put that money somewhere. Their job is to invest. Their job is to spend it. Well, what a tough job that is, huh? Here's money. Go spend it. Indeed. All right. So back to the currencies. Let's get the dollar index up there on Chicago Quant. And you can see right there we were in a sell for a couple days. And we are in a weekly sell. And right now it's not really moving the weekly buy up that much. We'll see how next week shows. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this thing just leaps through it. Now, looking at it on J4X, let's put the weekly up there just to try to get a flavor of if it's shifting gears there yet also. And you can see the fast down here below, right there, is trading in the 37s, and the slow is up in the 54s. 58. Is that 58? Wow. 21-point difference. And so it's still moving down. And you got this green thing going on, but the daily, as we just showed you, the daily is lifting up, and you got 47 on the fast and 33 on the slow. So it's turning into a daily buy. And the same thing right here. It's turning into a daily buy with no problem whatsoever. Now the question is, what will they do to next week? That'll be the interesting thing. Increase will be necessary to bring inflation down to our target of time over time. Wow, one of the Fed governors, basically, obviously, it's like as if everybody all of a sudden last night felt like they finally were going to read what Mr. Powell had said. I think that's what it really comes down to. It's like, oh, should we read what he has to say? Yeah, how about that? That's a good idea. All right, from there, what do we do from there? We go over to, what else is there? Let's see. Let's go to the euro. Let's go take a look at that euro this morning. Right there, that's the Canadian. I was looking at that when I saw all the movement going on. And there it is right there. They're driving it right back into a sell. And again, you can see we're in a weekly buy on the product. And let's put that right. I think I'm just going to go like this with it, because I know it's going to get it in there. So it's like that. There we are. That pressure is on that thing. It's up in here. And when it closes there today, then it'll be in a daily sell. Confirmed. And really tough situation. So it's telling you not to be long. And I don't know what that means exactly, more than what I usually say it does. And that's what it means. Is that double talk? It means that don't be long. Mr. Minagi, don't be there. And even with the weekly buy, don't be there long. Just be neutral. Just be neutral at the moment, because obviously something's brewing there. So from there, we go over to the cable. And I'm tempted. Let me do this. I want to show you that chart that I was talking about this morning. Here it is. Let's bring it up on the screen here. There it is right there. This is the DAX. The DAX is the purple. The orange is the what do you call that? The Chinese yuan. And you can see the Chinese yuan, instead of it, I guess it was up in the sixes, which means, as it goes higher, this is against the dollar, I guess. So, or is it against the euro? I'm trying to remember what the story really said. I guess it's the euro. And so you can see here, it's losing against the euro. And it's gaining, and the DAX itself has been going up in value at the same time. So they're saying basically, if you want to make money in China, buy the DAX. I like that. That's pretty good. And that's going back to Q4 of last year. And it shows you the first couple quarters here. And they put in that bottom. And it started to rally with the rest of the world. You know, everybody was running up. And here we are now in the yuan trying to challenge lows. It's not there yet. You know, it has to get to 735, I guess it is. And it's trading at 727 or something like that. You know, it's or 22. I guess it's 722. So it's got more to go. Remember, this is a fixed product, so the market is not really governing it. The bank, the People's Bank of China, sets the price for this every day. It's like a declaration or something. I don't know. It's not. It's a fixed product. It's a fixed unit of conversion. I think that's what they call it, really. A fixed unit of conversion where you can trade your currency for it. Indeed, indeed. All right. So now from there, where do we go from there? I'm going to move that off the screen. I'm not going to get rid of it in case someone asks. Or we look at the DAX, you know, that type of thing. All right. From there, what do we do here? Let's put that up there too. All right. Just double checking a text here. All right. There we go. So back to the currencies, and let's put in the British pound. You know, we didn't even look at the euro. Let's put the euro in there too. All right. There's the euro. Doing that same thing. Where the slow is at 71.6 and the fast is at 58. You know, dropping. Now let's drift over to the cable. And there it is right there, cable. Put cable up over here. And you see it's been in a weekly buy for a few weeks there now. This is the second week. It started off at the very beginning of last week, which was really cool. And, you know, we're in that sell, though. It's been telling you the Mr. Minagi thing again. Don't be there. So it told you up at the top here, basically, stay away until it comes back, and it's not coming back. And now we got the euro, you know, basically doing the same exact thing, feeling that same pressure, you know, watching it all, you know, jump up and down in the same way. Indeed, indeed. Now from there, what else can we say? Not much more than that, you know. I mean, they said, you know, I heard someone say today on one of the channels way earlier in the morning, they were talking about the idea that, but the Britain had really raised rates faster than they have in a long, long time, putting a lot of pressure on their economy, and you know, this is a really old-fashioned idea how to get rid of inflation. It's like, politicians, piss away all the money you can. Don't worry about it. Instead, we're just going to punish the taxpayers. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. There's no reason to hurt the economy to get rid of inflation. Just stop spending. That's all. Stop spending. But somehow or another, oh! Guess who's in the house? I see Benny. Benny's in the house. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yo, Ben! All right, I'll have a sip of tea from that one. Celebrate! Indeed. All right, so yeah, I mean, just stop spending. These politicians just refuse to stop spending. Right now, the House of Representatives has slowed the process, thank goodness. But overall, we're going to be stuck in the 5% area for a while until probably next year, as far as I can tell. All right, now from there, we drift over to the Swiss franc. Let's put the Swiss franc up there. Dun, dun. You know what I want to do? I just want to see where the weekly is on British pound on this, since ours is still in the buy. Yeah, 80 on the green, and 62 on the fixed line. So it's still plus, 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 and plus, and it's got those 3 weeks there, just like our work. All right, from there, let's jump over to the Swiss. Right there, and you can see it's trying to lift up. The green is above the yellow, so there's some pressure there. You know, no complaints really, none whatsoever. You know, really happy with the plants growing in the field. You know, we've not really gotten pounded with the rains, but the plants are really enjoying the light rain that we've had. Barely have any sunshine, but that's all right. You know, I've done a lot of transplanting of stuff like bok choy and so forth. You know, without the intense sun and the slow dampness, it's been good for the last 48 hours for the transplant of the plants. Transplanting plants. All right, and let's get the Swissy up there. There it is. You can see over on Chicano Quant right there, 3 days in a cell. And it's, it's 3 days in a cell still. It was trying to lift stronger a little while ago. I thought it was almost through the zero line. You can see here, same situation, the green hinky ashky. We got over here, you can see it's a green and a red. And the line is not piercing up. And the weekly is comfortable underneath still. So no real change there. And we don't really expect a lot out of the Swiss. We think the Swiss has gone through the tough times at this point. Indeed. Now from there we go over to the yen. See where the dollar yen is. And there you go. You can see that. You know, it's going after the 43s now. Like I said, the last couple of days and last week, we've given up on thinking that it was going to be trapped in the 38 to 39 area, and there was just a little glitch over that. Something's brewing there, and it is what it is, and we'll just keep on watching it. So you got here on the green at 80, was that 83.30, basically 83.5, say, a thin 83.5. And you can see the same thing on the slow, 83.5. They're right on top of each other. And, you know, they're playing towards the higher end of the range, and it's not really letting go. And, you know, that's what we're seeing there. And then when we jump over to Chicago Quant, let's put it up over there. Right there. You see that it's down a little bit today. It made a new high up at the 43 area. You know, 43, 45. And I did see the next product we're going to be looking at is Turkish lira against the Euro Turkish lira pairs trade, and that also made another all-time high today. So this is just like a 20-year high, 25-year high, something like that on the won dollar pairs trade, or dollar won pairs trade. That's about a 25-year high, 30-year high, something like that. But here, you know, it's not really telling us anything more than it's in a daily buy and a weekly buy, and it doesn't seem to want to let go of the when to be long. All right, from there we'll go over it and check out the Euro Turkish lira. Right there. All-time highs, as we like to call it now. We like to think of this as the little ruble. It's the little ruble. That's what it is. It's, you know, we keep on thinking we're going to see that 31-ish stuff. And obviously, you know, the next thing is going to be, I guess we're going to see 31 or 33 or something like that sooner or later. You know, I said a couple days ago, probably like within 1 to 3 months or something like that. But, you know, it has that same feel as when it went on the rampage from the 5 to the 9. You know, when we kept on thinking, oh, it's going to 5. You know, and then we've been following this product for so long now. It's been it's like a live laboratory of how not to run your currency, I guess. I guess, you know, that's why I call it the little ruble. ruble. I remember rubles when they were 4 to $1. Then they became 7 to $1, then 9, then 13, and now they're like 75 or 85 or something like that. And it just has that feel to it, like the Turkish lira has that feel to it, like it wants to get up into the double digits, not just double digits like teens and 20s, but now it wants to go over a quarter century or a third of a century. It has that feel to it. So there it is there. You can see Turkish lira. You can see, let's get it up on here. There it is. All-time high on Chicago Quant now is 28.38.6. Basically 39. 28.39. Yeah. So we're like, what's that, 2.5 handles away. 2.5 handles away from the 31 area, basically. That's not too bad since we've been talking about it going there since the low mid to mid 22s, 23. So we're going to get. I remember starting to say, okay, this thing's going to 31, and where do I remember explaining where we derived that number too. We're just thinking of it as a 1/3, to century mark. 100. Markets move in crazy ways, and that's one of them. And that is, you look at first it's the 0.223. Then the next one is the 0.318. And that's what we're thinking right now. Is out of that century mark, it's going to find a way to the 0.318, and that'll be basically the 31 area. Now, can it get up to 33? Probably. Will it? I don't know, but it can. And it all comes down to the lack of liquidity or, the policy. We don't even understand the policy of Turkey at this point. I guess the only thing I can guess at is that they want to devalue their currency just so that they can get investors to come into the country. And forget about policy of economics or policy on industry or policy on, in other words, what makes good investing. That doesn't count. Instead, they like to just devalue the currency until it's a point where foreign investors will come in and invest. I'm figuring that could be anywhere from the 30s to the 50s. So I'm figuring the first spot for it to stop and hang out for 6 months will be probably like the 31 and the 33 area. It'll probably vacillate along that for a while. We've seen this product do that, where it gets locked in an area, like where it got locked in the low 20s for about 3 or 4 months, and just hung out there. And, it just didn't want to let go. Whatever they've done and the free puts that they had offered is obviously gone. It didn't happen, or they stopped doing it really quick when they realized that everybody wanted a free put. All right. From there, we slide over to the major brick as far as I'm concerned, and that is the South African Rand. It's the second biggest brick in the brick indice. You can see there, this is the South African Rand. It's cruising. Oh, you know what? Usually we go to the peso first. Let's do this. We'll do this. We'll go with the second because this one's officially in the brick. That's what BRICS. I think that's how the BRI BRICS. I think they do it right. And S stands for South Africa. So this is the second biggest brick in the indice, in the DOC indice, the MBRIC indice. DOC MBRIC. That's it. The DOC indice for BRICS. All right. So can I say that another dozen times? I guess. Anyhow, you can see here it's bouncing up. You would assume gold is going down. That's the way it was before all the political turmoil of the last 6 months. So let's go check out gold, really. Let's see what gold is doing. And there it is on J4X. Right. Where are you, gold? There you are. So gold is going down. and the second biggest brick is going up. That makes sense. And you can see here we're at 21.9, almost 22, and the slow is at 25. So still down, pushing down. You can see here we are underneath last week. The fast went into a sell 2 weeks ago. This has been some type of dead cat bounce. And let's move that zero line up like that. There we are. And so you can see the pressure that's on it. Been on a daily sell from up here. Finally went into the buy at the bottom on a daily basis. And it's been a good protective, it's the don't be there. We're in a weekly sell, daily buy, hard to have the hard delta without getting hurt. So, if you have a position on in this thing, it better be through an options derivative or a binary derivative type of thing. All right. From there, I'm laughing at a story up on the screen. Macon Bacon team receives backlash for bacon moniker. I like to say, if that's what they're into, that's what they're into. Why do I have to take it away from them? Anyhow, that's where we stand when it comes to the South African Rand. And then from there, excusez-moi, from there, we don't have much more to be said about any of the other stuff when it comes to the gold, except for obviously there's pressure on it. That's about it. Nothing more than that. There we go. So, from there we go over to the Mexican peso. Now, the Mexican peso to us is the top brick. They've declared they want to be in the BRICS. I think they want to be in the BRICS. No one talks about it anymore, but they talked about it, and they said the president said they were going to be in the BRICS, so I guess we have to consider it in the BRICS. And so when it comes to the BRICS, it's really hard to find a decent currency in there to begin with that trades. I mean, the Brazilian real is almost impossible to get quotes on. And the same thing with the Indian rupee. Janos, if you're listening, I thought we used to be able to get the rupee on J4X, but can't even get the rupee anymore. And then so there's two of the BRICS that don't even trade, and then the third one that is a half decent trading product is the ruble, or the currency we will not be named. And so that's in a disaster at the moment. We're not getting quotes on that. And then we go to the fourth one, which is the Chinese, what do they call it, inversion unit. So in other words, it's not even a floating currency. So 4 of the 6 BRICS are really hard to trade. The rupee is the second best to get third best to get a quote off of. So that's not too bad. So that's why we say that the rupee is probably the third best product in the BRIC index. And then after that, the rest of them could be literally like 1 or 2%. The Brazilian real and the Chinese inversion currency, yuan, whatever they want to call it, and then the ruble. So it really makes it tough to take it serious if you're not following the best of the best inside the BRIC. And this is the best of the best, the Mexican peso. Now it's trying to get into a buy. It did one day, then went right back into the sell again. Now it's trying to lift up into a buy again. But we're in that weekly sell, so if anything, it's trying to tell us to just stand to the side. And this is probably the interest rate thing, because we've seen that with all the other products where the interest rates have made their quick jump, And then from there, we slide over to, we did look at that. So we go over to Canadian now. The last of the currencies to pay attention to. And there's the Canadian. Let's put it up over on here. CAD. Dollar CAD right there. There we are. And as you can see here, It broke that triangle we'd been watching for like 3.5 months, 4 months, and now it's down here bouncing around. You would assume with this slide like this, you would think oil would be about $85, something like that. So let's put the oil up there and see what it looks like. But it's not $85. Last I saw it was underneath 70, and that was probably like 3 or 4 hours ago. Let's see, right there. Yeah, 68.14, and the pressure is on it. So it's not, the Canadian is not marching along in that fashion anymore. Either is the South African rand to a certain extent isn't either. All of them seem to have moved because of the increase of their interest rates and the inflation more than anything else seem to move all the currency pairs at this point. So inflation and the interest rates are the governing factor. From there, where do we go from there? Trying to see. I guess I'm trying to think of what would be better. I guess from there we move over to, since we looked at Canadian and we're looking at crude, we'll go into the energies. And then we can go back to the metals complex, see where silver and gold and everything is doing, especially here on a Friday. Let's jump over to right there. Oh, Benny, do you want to see the... before I get out of the currencies, let's do this. Let's put the... where is it at? Right now, it's right there. Let's check out the Benny pairs trade that he pays attention to. There is the GBP AUD, and it's doing that when thing still on the upside. And it, as I said on Monday, when it jumped into the weekly on Monday, and that's what it did on Monday. It just jumped right at the beginning of the week. Same thing with what was it? There was 2 products that did that. They just launched themselves right into it on Monday through the manifold. Once it gets through the manifold, you don't have to worry about getting to the end of the week. It's done. It's going. It's hot and heavy and running hard. And so that's where they stand there. Now let's take a look at it on GBP JPY. Right there. Same situation, went it back into the buy. Let's steal a buy. I'm going to steal that buy right there and just stick it in there. There we are. And so it went into the buy yesterday. It's a little weaker right now. It was stronger earlier. And it's still in that weekly buy. So it's obviously a win again. That win was a really interesting one. It's hard to get back to back of those. So you got to assume this win could be something like this, really lethargic, just a small profit, and take a couple days if there's going to be a jump like this one there too. That's about it. That is what we see there. Now we'll go over to the energy sector. And let's see, where's it at? There is crude. And you can see there they're moving down. It went into the sell yesterday. Why is that over there today? There it is. So we went into the sell there yesterday. It's in the sell, and the weekly is in the sell, and it's through the manifold. So that just broke the manifold over the last, it was yesterday, I think, that it broke the manifold. So it's obviously going to close in the weekly sell. Now the back month, this is the August contract, which is interesting because the back month is, let's check that out. And let's put Brent up on J4X. There's Brent breaking down the same way. I think, we mumbled it. No problem, Ben. We mumbled this yesterday and the last couple of days. The reason why we're probably seeing weakness in the oil is because the Federal Reserve is trying to shut the American economy down. When you shut the American economy down or weaken it, we'll be lucky if we get 1% GDP this year, or in this particular quarter or this year. They're really trying to. That's how they're trying to fight inflation. Instead of stop spending Instead, they just slow the economy down and hurt everybody instead of the politicians. I say hurt the politicians. Let them stop spending, not the public. Let the public be the public. But they just don't do that. The politicians have to just starve everybody out. All right, so that's where we are with the August crude. Now, and you can see it's trading at 68.05. Let's jump to October crude and see where that's at. That's at 68.20. They've thrown a premium into it. Yesterday there was a 10-cent discount on the contango. Now they're throwing a premium in on it. So this might be the basing area where they flip it, where they start to buy into it in the mid 60s here. When they start to do that, that's usually a sign that money's trying to come in. Now, same situation here. We were to buy in a weekly buy for like 3 weeks, since right here. And then, it went up and it went down and went up again. And now, that gave the daily buy signals, 2 of them, good wins. But right now, we're through the manifold right there. Let's put the line in there too, like that. On a Friday, it's confirming it very easily by just busting the manifold itself. And that's where we are. That's definitely through it. And the pressure's on. And I guess they're going to go after this 66 and change? Yeah, 66.70. So maybe we'll play with the 66s or the 65s. But one thing is for sure, interest rates are not going to go down. And more than likely, they're going to go up. And that will slow the growth of the economy, which means less spending, more, it's almost like more inflation still in a hard way. Because, if you can't, if you can't grow, then everybody gets punished. And the only reason we're not growing is because the politicians are spending more money than we have, which generates inflation. You got that wheelbarrow to buy a loaf of bread thing, going on there. Yeah, fill up a wheelbarrow with money or something. Anyhow, Veermark thing. Now from there, we go over to Nat Gas, and there's Nat Gas. And you can see it's trying to get into the sell. It's bounced back up, but we're down at the same time. And we are through the weekly with no problem. See it right there? No problem. So there's pressure on that at the same time. We're getting all this pressure constantly. Let's put Nat Gas up on there. Right there. Trading in the $2.60 a cubic whatever, and then at the same time, we see this in the strength on the daily, and right now yellow is at 66, 65 and change, 66, and so is the green. So they're battling it out. They're almost on top of each other at this point. And then we go over to where do we go? We go over to the company down in Spain. Let's go check that out. This energy company down in Spain, the stock usually reflects what's going on in Europe, so we're looking for $26, not $2.60, but $26. There it is, 26.56 offers, 51 bid. Watch them trade. 51.3 bid. All right, and you can see the little pressure on it there, and you can see the yellows at 30. What is that? 38, and you can see the green at 32. Then let's see, and then what do we go for there? Let's see. From there we shoot over to. What's next? Oh, I guess that's about it, really. That's the Nat Gas over there in Spain and Europe itself. So that's the energy. That's the energy side of it all. From there, we're going to go over to the metals complex, and we were looking at gold. So there is the first or the second look at gold right there. And at the same time, let's put gold up over here. Here you are. Gold. Right there. And it's trying to lift up actually right now. You can see that. And you can see this nice big curve right there. You can see the same thing on J4X right there. It's curving up. So that's kind of cool. You know, it's at 23 and the slow is at 25. So it's trying to turn just like us, trying to get through the zero line. It's trying to get through its three-dimensional zero line of the yellow slow. And see what else is there. That was a good win, and then it jumped up again, and then it was a second win right there. And now it's trying to turn back up again. I don't know if gold has that much energy in it. I'm not even sure if Putin replaces nuclear weapons and short-range nuclear weapons in Belarus, and no one cares. I mean, honestly, the world is not nervous about any of this stuff anymore. It don't care. It's like the honey badger. It don't care. And it's so clear that it doesn't care. That's the weird part out of it all. They just don't care. And nothing seems to excite the marketplace in desperation because the Federal Reserve keeps it all stable. I mean, that's pretty much what it really comes down to is the stability. QE is the king of stabilization. That's what it really comes down to. It says, hey, we're going to make life stable. So that's where we are caught with it, and there's no changing it, It just is what it is. So. The next stop we go to is the silver. And I imagine silver's trying to lift up the same way. And there's silver. It's higher than yesterday. It's still trying to turn around. And it's trying to get into a weekly sell. Look at that manifold situation. The manifold is, where's that at? Minus 28. And the green line is minus 25, as you see right there. So it's just on the edge. It looks like it'll make it. If there's a panic today and they run this thing, it could knock it right back into the buy. But I don't know, and I don't think so. So we're just going to go like this. We're going to start generating the line for tomorrow, or for the close of today. We'll just move that over like that right there for the time being. Let me just save that too at the same time. Save the workspace. And so that's pretty much the action in silver. The July silver, which still seems to be the front month for at least another couple of weeks, or at least another week or two. We'll double check that as we speak. Let me just want to save that like that. And let's just take a look at that. Let's see, what are they doing here with the silver contracts? I'm just going over and checking it as we speak, because it wouldn't surprise me if we start to switch over within the next 6-7 days as the lead contract. And there's Silverado. Now it's still holding up really well. Volume yesterday was 22,000, and the September contract was a little under 10,000. Open interest is 85,000 in September, and it is half. It's about 50,000. 85. Oh, wait a second. Maybe that isn't. Okay, so open interest now is expanding. It's at 85,541 in the September contract, and it's at 47,000 in the July contract. So we're probably literally, probably next week we'll probably be switching into the July contract. The September contract. And then let's just check out the gold. I think I'm going to go back to the gold real quick. That's August, so we have no problems there. That's holding up. That's going to be there for at least another 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. And let's just save that too while we're here. There we go. Now let's take a look at copper. Copper really switched gears this morning. At one point it was lifting up yesterday, and we're thinking, wow, they're really trying to take it up. And then, we're in the weekly buy there. Let's put it. We didn't take a look at silver on here. I just want to see silver on J4X too. Right there. There's the silver. Yeah, lots of pressure. Green at 7, almost 8, and the yellow The line itself is at 11, so it's still underneath water just the same. Now let's go over to the copper and see what's going on with copper. Right there. Copper trading at 380, and it looked like it was going for the $4 area, and then rolled over. Ooh. Real smasho. It's right back now where it went into the daily buy, right here. Let's move that line over one like that. That's where it went into the daily buy right there. And then the weekly joined in somewhere around in here. And there was a nice little pop. And if you lose money on this one, it's because you didn't money manage it, that's for sure. Because it gave you an opportunity to take profits a couple times. What else can we say besides that? As you can see, it's breaking down on the weekly, but nothing major. We'll see how they treat it next week if it goes out. You know, if they're going down into the lows and start really putting some pressure on this thing, then you know, again, China is an interesting entity in itself. You know, it's a colony of America. It only survives because America invests there. And so if they keep on biting our hand, and there's a good reason to bite our hand. Joe Biden is pretty evil. Him and his son are blackmailing the Chinese communists all the time. No wonder they hate us. I can understand it now. I was saying that to somebody. I was saying it to a trader this morning. I understand now why the Chinese are so obnoxious at us. It's because they're getting blackmailed by the president and the president's son and all that stuff. It's been proven. It's going through the system. He's taken in tens of millions of dollars, and the U.S. media doesn't want to talk about it. They love blackmailers and criminals and all that stuff. Hence the reason our cities are burning. Indeed. They love it. Love, love, love it. Don't ask me why, but they do. All right, so there's copper, and copper is the eyes of what's going on inside China, and so I guess if we're going to be raising rates and we're not growing, then you got to figure that China must be like, oh Lord, where's our? If America can't spend money here, then where do we go? Oh no, you know, I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. Oh, crazy times. Crazy indeed. Now, from there, we'll slide over to the last of the metals that we look at. That is the platinum. It's trying to get firmer this morning. You can see a little green thing going on there. You know, we've been in the... Let's fix this. Where's that? We go to there. View. Reload. It didn't do that. Why didn't it do that? That needs to be fixed. The high is wrong there. And so, what else can we say? It's in a sell from here, and it's trying to turn up. That's all it's trying to do right there. But it's been in that weekly sell now for a full 6 weeks, and underneath the manifold, and it doesn't seem to even care. You know, it doesn't want to turn up. And we were talking about this the last few days about, you know, 90 looks like the next stop. Not 90, 900. The next stop. There's a lot of support there in this area. Where is it? Right there. There it is. Let's move that over just a little bit more. Right there. So we're banging around in the nines, like 905, 910 probably will be that type of action. Now, brown cow, we go over to... Where do we go over to? We go over to... Zoom. Oh, that's it. That's the metals. And is there any questions? Let's go check and see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions. All right, that's cool. So from there, that concludes the energy and the metals complex, and we've looked at the currency complex. And let's go dance our way back to the equity index. As you can see here, there's a couple things we can say about today. You know, we watched the Bitcoin and the cryptos lead the stock indices for a long time, okay? And over the last month and a half, you know, they broke away just the same way oil broke away from Canadian and gold broke away from the South African rand. And now we're seeing the vice versa. Money is running towards the cryptos because Mr. Biden's pals are going to do it a favor and allow it to have an exchange. And so all of a sudden, we've gone from 25 to 30,000. So let's go take a look at the cryptos. That was the S&P 500. Let me just say something about the S&P 500. We just had it up on the screen. We are at the lows of the day of 4,387. We are down about, what is that, from yesterday's close of around 25. We are about almost 40 points down now. So, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average down about 200 points. And so from there, let's go over and take a look at, right there, the cryptos right there. And you can see that, okay, that's an interesting looking flag there, but we went into the buy here. We went into the weekly buy here on the fast, showing the strength there under the 26,000 area and jumped up to almost 31,000. 30,000, what is that? 30,900. So it went to almost 31,000. And so after it gliding down for months because they were, twisting it and turning it and talking about outlawing it and, all this other stuff, all they could do is take 4,000 or 5,000 out of it. They had a hard time really damaging this product. You can see back in December when the fallout from that fellow that was a big contributor to the Democrat Party and trying to buy an exchange, and they were going to give him the exchange until he ran out of other people's money. Once you run out of other people's money, it really changes the whole complexion to investing, it really does. And so, he lost a bunch of $1 billion and gave $1 billion to the Democrats at the same time and almost got through it all. If they had legalized the exchange for him, he could have basically paid the people back, or at least half of it, or hit it better. Let's put it that way. So, Free his name is, or something like that, some odd name. And so that's where we're at with the Bitcoin in June. And you can see the strength in it. It's not falling down. It's holding up the last couple days, and the weekly has joined in and looking very, very good, very fine, very, very fine. So from there, what do we got from there? Let's move that down just a little bit more. There we are. I go like that. Yeah, I like that. And go like that. There we are. So from there, we go and look at the stock indices themselves. And so let's go check out the DAX for Janos right there. And the DAX is breaking down with that funny chart that we saw too, with the Chinese inversion unit, where they call it their currency. And it's in the daily. Now, why is that? That's all screwed up. Let's see if we can get that to straighten itself out. We fixed this thing yesterday, and it was in a cell there. Now it's all over the damn place. What is that? I have to go in and find. None of this is making sense now. That's where the cell was. I went in there and checked it. Something's wrong here. This is wrong, I know for sure. That's where the cell was. And then these two don't make any sense anymore. So we have to fix that. All right, and then from there we go to the S&Ps. And you can see the S&Ps are doing that thing where it's moving down. You can see that pressure on the downside there. But we're still in that weekly with no problem. So this probably if at best we may see the 4,300 area, maybe another 87 points down, something like that. And then we go over to, let's go take a look at the Tech 100. Oh, let's put this up on J4. And let's go look at J4X too on the DAX. DAX 40. It's here somewhere. There it is right there. Yeah, so it's showing all that red. And we can take these, turn the hinky ASCII off like this. Where's hinky ASCII? Right there. And then I can use those bars to readjust this. But one thing's for sure, this is all wrong. See, look at the high there. That high was much higher. It was up around here. And same thing there. And this one, they got this one going up when it's down for the day. So, and that was down bigger. So this needs to be fixed on our chart here. We'll work on that over the weekend. And then we had it right yesterday. Too bad. I should have saved the chart of it. I think I'm going to start doing that. And then from there, we go over to the Tech 100. Let's put the Tech 100 in. Right, not there, right there. No. Bingo, bango, bongo. Right there, there is the Tech 100. Let's put that Tech 100 in over here. Let's see, where are you? Tech 100, right there. That's in the sell for a bunch of days. But the weekly's holding up very well, and they are coming after those lows as we speak. And then let's go take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. There's a SEP contract. And you can see the pressures on that too at the same time. In a daily sell for a few days. Still in that weekly buy with no problem. It jumped in there 2 weeks ago now. This is going on a third week. Interesting how it turned around and caught the wave up. All right, traders, we are done. I don't see any more questions. And we're going to use an example of the cryptos today. We're going to call this market, we're going to say cryptos lead equities again. That's what it is. It's back in the saddle. Let's see. So we go cryptos lead equities. That's the way I look at it. And that's the way, to me, it's, now that they have an exchange again, they're going to legalize an exchange, they'll be able to function better. It seems moronic in its nature, because obviously people want cryptos for the blockchain, and they can have it personally, but at the same time, they want a place to trade. So, well, give them both. This is Doc from North America saying, everybody have a safe and a smart weekend. We will catch you all on Monday. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders.